we're going to do another editing video. Much to my surprise, my pleasant surprise, some of you said you enjoyed watching it the other day when I edited another show, so here we go. So this is an AG Today episode. We do AG Today on Thursdays on YouTube, and then I do an audio-only version for people over on Patreon, but I make it available for anybody. So if you go and visit Patreon and you're not a member, you can listen to it for free. And so here's what we do. So, all right, so I got my file, which we'll make larger here. So here's my file, and there I record. Usually, I remember hopefully to record before we actually start the show while we're just sitting around talking, because sometimes some good stuff comes out of that. And so usually ahead of time, before the show, it's just banter, whatever people are talking about. So that's Veronica in the hallway, talking with Cindy and Colby.
And call screener line.
So here I am. This is very exciting. This is us. I'm calling in, setting up the phone line.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound. Enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
So anyway, so there's nothing there. But Veronica, now remember, she wasn't on the show last week or the week before, but she listens. And so I found a little banter beforehand where she makes an allusion to something we did, where we talked about last week.
Growing, it's all over town now.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I should say about that. Well, I talked about like the tours of the cemetery.
In case you don't know, we were talking about how she says cemetery.
I was gonna say burial grounds. The national burial grounds. I said cemetery.
No, she does it all the time.
But I think cemetery. Like it's.
So now you say it.
But it's my speech is like it still sounds like an N. Cemetery.
No, not there.
No, it sounds normal.
Yeah.
That sounds normal.
I hear it.
I'll have to go back and see if I can find examples of it. I never
We
like.
about this on the air the one time because I remember
We did?
joking about they're in cement, like the volume of cement.
Oh yeah.
Cement.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I did call you out on it. I thought I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
All right, so there. Oh, that's where I'm going to end it, and then pull the beginning of the show up. Now, I have the show and that cold open on two different tracks. And the reason for that is the cold open, I don't sweeten the sound on that at all. I leave it as is, just the way it sounds coming out of the recorder. Because I wanted to show, it's like how in movies they'll show a flashback sometimes in black and white. So it's a visual cue to you that you're not hearing the main story, you're hearing a flashback, or you're seeing a flashback. So here I do it dry sound, so that it should hopefully would indicate to you even subconsciously that you're listening to pre-show talking. And then once it's done, we go into the show.
Yeah, you did.
From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studio.
And then that I sweeten, so it's got a little more.
I thought I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, high atop Baltimore Street, in a maximum security facility complete with central. It's AG Today.
Hello, folks. It's Patrick Gorman.
Hi, this is Jake Busey.
Hi, this is Bruce Boxleitner.
This is Tom from Gettysburg Christmas.
Hi, this is Bo Brinkman. And you're listening to
Dressing in Gettysburg.
I'm glad you're
right, so it's got all that, and then usually what I do is I then look for visual indicators. I don't need to mark the commercial breaks because they're marked by silence here. Because the commercial break audio only goes out on the video, it doesn't go into the recorder. So it's pretty easy for me to just find where we go to break. And then when it fades out, I just make a quick cut. There, hold on. Okay, made the cut, and now I'm going to close that gap. And this is what I do for the patrons. I give them an audio-only version without commercials because they're patrons. But I also, because it's a free show anyway, I make it available for free for anybody who goes to visit Patreon, in the hopes that you might go, you know what? These people do so much work and they give us this little bit for free. I'm going to be a patron so they can eat.
Want to promote your Gettysburg business? Send an email to sales@addressinggettysburg.com.
Avro his men elegantly.
That's right!
Who's the faithful lightning of his terrible with sword? His truth is marching on. So we got to figure out our karaoke rules, but we'll do that another day when the full crew is here.
I wouldn't mind talking about it right now. At least ideas for some.
Well, all right, how about this? Related to it, but not actually getting into it. So we
Full day of.
all over the place?
that was great. So sometimes I just skip through just to hear the sound of it, make sure it all sounds decent and everything, and then go to here's break 2. Okay, same thing. Cut it out. Whoops, not what I meant to do. Hit that, and then close the gap. Very boring, very tedious. I mean, it must be very boring for you to watch this. Think of how boring it is to have to do this several times a week. He came back very apologetic. To answer that question, there. I remember her from the seminary show, Elizabeth. She was it was like every other week there.
And falafel from a serious reception in my world. That's highlighted in my calendar. Grr.
Yeah, all year.
He's busy.
Ask a guide, and then she would. But his daughter's a freshman, and so a woman, and it's a boys' club, and I'm like, no, so
I'm bet for a while now.
far. But not any. Too bad we don't have a Zoom lens. Oh wait, I have one. I'm sorry. I have one. I'm sorry. I have one more that just came in earlier, and this falls in the category of hate mail.
If you could see the look on my face, you would know that I hate you.
Blah, blah, blah. Everything is wrong. Shut up, please. Stop ruining history.
It's time for Addressing Gettysburg's Hate Mail, where we share what some of the most feeble-minded people on the planet dare to say online.
This one here, this one is nice because it sort of has to do with me, but not really. Okay,
Better not be about me.
it's not directly about
Oh,
you.
no. Don't read that.
That's it, dude. I'm done with you. I've been noticing in the last year or so that there's too much. Here's my favorite part. Estrogen. ESPROGEN. And I think he means to write seeping, but it's SPPEING. So clearly he's angry when he's writing because he can't even do it right. Too much estrogen seeping into the show. It's a show about a battle. Come on, man. I'm out of here. So there you go.
Wow.
Where we share what's
Wow.
You know,
He waited.
American. Just all right. So now I'm just skipping to find the end.
Can you mute for 30 seconds?
All right, hold on. I'm taking us off
I
the
just want to
air.
make sure I'm not saying something else.
Okay, wait. right, so there I mute the mics, and there's too much of dead air there, so what I'm going to do is skip to, I think I say...
Just gonna play some music while this conversation is going on.
Just want to make sure I'm not saying something else.
Okay, wait. Just gonna play some music while this conversation is going on. Oh, now you're making... All right, we're back on now. Now you're making me feel bad.
That's how it works.
That's all the guilts that we talked about last week. The Catholic, the Jewish, and the Pentecostal all in one right there. Thank
okay,
you.
fine. I guess I'm not.
Okay, well... Okay, now I gotta think. I just...
Blah, 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 blah.
Let your friend choke to death out in that river.
Grab the pulp and hurt my neck?
This podcast.
This concludes our broadcast.
0.
All right, and then there. So we reach the end. We just close that up there, take a little bit and fade that down. All right, and now I think we're done. So we just go through again, make sure it looks okay. Everything seems to be all right. And then we just go over to our multi-track window here, or drop down here. Mix down entire session, and then we wait for the computer to do its dirty work. All right, let's see. Hello, Ayandish. How you doing? Hello, Connor. Ayandish says, once I'm able to, I will be looking to move to a higher tier on Patreon. As a patron, can confirm it is well worth the investment. Thank you very much. These hate mailers crack me up, says Connor. Yeah, they're funny. They're funny because then, as I always say, they tell you more about themselves than they tell you about you. So, you know, it's it just makes me laugh to read the psychosis that just drips through. It saturates the words of these people, and they're so unaware of it. And the funny thing is, like, they do it to hurt, right? Because, like, why waste your time unless you're trying to harm someone? Because if you had anything going on with your life, if you had half a brain or some, self-respect, you would just move on. But so many people have, they waste so much time. So it's fun to laugh at them. And you shouldn't mock people. You should only mock the mockable. And there are plenty of people out there who make themselves mockable. And these types of people are. Especially because, like I was saying on the show after I read that last email, the hate mail, that, like, I've heard people say, women say that they're encountered by this stuff in the history field. And I've never witnessed it. I've never seen anybody do that. I've only heard of, like, vague, it's happened to me type of stories. And then sometimes when they would tell the story, I'm kind of doubtful that it was actually the person being sexist, and more, I kind of question whether or not the person telling the story perceived it that way. Because, like, if you say the same thing to a guy, the guy wouldn't take it as sexist. So, and guys get, told this shit all the time. So, I was kind of doubtful. But when I saw this come through, I thought at first it had to be a joke. Because it kind of reads like you would think, it reads like someone who's claiming victimhood status on that front would make it sound. But as far as I could tell, that was a legit email that came through. And I just thought that was crazy. And it's like, okay, well, maybe they're right. Maybe they do encounter that once in a while. The good news is I'm around a lot of people, male and female, and I have yet to witness anybody treat a woman that way. But maybe it does happen. It's just never around me.
Growing. It's all over town now.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I should say about that. Well, I talked about like the tours of the cemetery. Like it's
Now you
cemetery.
said-
I remember
we did?
joking about. Well, they're in cement. Like the vault of cement.
Oh, maybe I did call you out on it. I thought I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, high atop Baltimore.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, high atop Baltimore Street, in a maximum security facility complete with central air. It's AG Today.
Hello, folks. It's Patrick Gorman. Hi, this is Jake Busey. Hi, this is Bruce Boxleitner. This is Tom Miller from...
I know. Yeah, keeping an extra month so that I could do a slow.
Pronounced it Renault.
Oh, did he?
Kismet elegantly.
Is a
And all get together to watch.
All right, so there. All that's done. Now we go to save as. We're going to save it. It's titled there. I'm just going to take mix down 1 out of the title because that's what Adobe Audition just adds there. And I'm going to find the right folder to put it in, which is ready for upload. And then I'm going to change it to a MIP3 or an MP3 as the kids call it. And then we hit OK. Now it's going to save it there. Anders. Oh, I know. I love it because most people have no clue all the other nifty things to learn apart from just the battle. They clearly underestimate the levels of dark humor we who enjoy the show have. Yes, and you have to have dark humor, I think. I mean, especially if you're one of the people that actually fight the wars, you've got to have dark humor. You have no other choice. Laughter is the best medicine, as they say, and it's true. No matter what your situation is, if you can find a way to laugh at it and not be such an uptight little pain in the ass, you'll be surprised So, yes, you have to have a dark sense of humor when you're dealing with death and destruction all the time. And the Civil War, while, yeah, it was battles, and that to me is the most interesting and exciting part. While those battles are going on, while those men are off at war, somebody's back home taking care of the kids, keeping the towns in order. Yeah, there's still men back there, of course. There's older men, whatever. But women had to do a lot more than they were supposed to do at the time. And I find that to be interesting. Especially because, today, if you just listen to people today and not dig any deeper, say your teachers and your professors, you would think that women were kept in cages and, couldn't do anything, couldn't own property. And while that's like largely true, there are many, many examples of that not being like set in stone. And there's women that did own property. They did do remarkable things that, and they didn't have to dress like men to do it. They just did it as women. And so, and we're trying to, especially over on Patreon, the whole idea of Patreon is that you're going to get more than just the battle. The free episodes give you the battle. And a lot of people are happy with that. They don't want to learn any more than that. And that's fine. But if you do, we have episodes on Patreon that put the battle in context of the war. We go a little deeper on certain aspects or certain units of the battle. And we get into the cultural things between, of the mid-19th century, like religion. Eventually we'll get into, we've kind of touched on the politics a little bit here and there, but we'll get into that more and the economics and just, it's a fascinating time. The whole country, whether they were firing guns at each other or not, like the whole country just seemed to be completely in turmoil and split, even within the North and within the South. It's amazing that either side was able to hold it together to prosecute the war as long as they did. To me, at least. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. All right, so now we're going to go on to Patreon. Hold on, let me adjust the camera here for a second. We're going to go on to Patreon and create this thing here. Create audio. All right, there we go. Moving back. So I go in and I find the file. Ages Today, September 7th. Summer's Gone is what it's called. And I usually copy and paste it, but I forgot. So I'll just do it here. September 7th, 2023. Summer's Gone, because I can't come up with titles very easily. Veronica is back, and her AC crapped the bed. How will she survive these sweltering, sweaty days of remaining days of summer 2023? Also, bullet point, hate mail. Matt has a spare ticket to a Gettysburg Christmas reception and is wondering what to do with it. No. And is thinking of doing a contest to give it away. That is until Colby speaks up. And that's it. Okay, the next one. One more thing that happened. I don't remember anything else that we talked about. That's enough. We'll just go and more. It's a 2-hour show. There's got to be more in there. Then I go to my tags, AG Today. Let's see. Veronica Krstensky Esquire, so people know that that's an episode she's on. World War II weekend is this thing we talked about later on. Show news, because we had some news there for the show, and that's about it. I can add it to, this is a new thing they have on Patreon, collections. So I'm going to put this under AG Today, and that's about it for now. So it stays on AG Today, and it's going to be available to the public. And I just gotta get my poorly made, I did this, I modified the AG Today logo I just added the word today in there, and then we publish. And if you're a patron and you're watching this right now as I do this, you should get a notification within a few seconds. And there you go, there you have it, etc., etc. Now I can hit play.
Growing, it's all over town now.
Yeah. Last week, basically coming.
He really makes a name for himself. Like,
Free shipping if you want to order online, right?
Free shipping, yeah.
I didn't hear about this, so I'll do a third bullet point. These are all out of order, of course. Is it Rand Ald or Ronald? There you go. No one will know what that means. So I'll save that, and then now that's there. Okay, so that's it. So that is how we edit and post a AG Today show on, what's it called? Patreon. And then now I have some work to finish up for Monday's uploads on the free feed. I have some, show art to make, maybe, or whatever, but also show notes to write. I'm not going to bore you with that. Let me see if you have anything interesting to say. Hello. Okay, they clearly underestimate the levels of dark. Oh, gotcha. Okay, way to Gilligan's Island. The description, Matt, and all the rest. You can do better, man. No, I can't, Ty. No, I can't. What? And more? I put that on all of them because there is more. I can't get everything in there. Also, we don't plan it, so I'm just going off of memory from what I remember of the night before. And I've got, let's see, 71 other things to do today. Women got it the easiest ever in history. Right now, we don't even realize how good we as women have it. I agree with you, Cherry Pie Show. Better than men, actually, in many ways, because you get to legally destroy us. Got the notification, thanks, but there you go. Hondish got it. All right, there you go. I can't even imagine how hard it was to be a woman in 1862. I can't imagine how they wore all those layers of clothing, men or women, but the women especially, so many layers of clothing. And then Ty's just breaking balls. No, I know you're breaking balls, but that was more of a defense of myself for people who would read or hear you say that and go, yeah, really, man, because... yeah, just sick of it. All right. Anyway, I have more work to do, and it'll bore you to watch me do it. So I'm not going to make you sit through it. You guys, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and I will talk to you later. Probably won't talk to you till Monday, so have a great weekend if I don't. I can have been doing it for over a decade and started doing walks with a fully loaded knapsack. It's not a bad idea. All right. Heinous and Nene, love you. Love you too. Okay. Talk to you later.